Hello and welcome to another Blood Bowl Anatomy of a Turn video. This is the series in which I take a focused look at a single turn in the hope of explaining some of my thoughts and decisions in greater depth. As always, this is not presented as a perfect turn of Blood Bowl or anything like it. It is just meant to expand upon what I was thinking in this particular turn. Okay, so we've got a Resurrection tournament, so I've got some Dark Elves with 5 normal skills, and I'm playing against some Khemri, and they've got a few more skills. So they've got 2 Guard, Tomb Guardians, 2 Block Tomb Guardians, a Leader Throw Ra, and a Tackle Mighty Blow Blitz Ra. Okay, so in this situation, it's my turn 3. I've managed to turn over the Khemri with a bit of luck, and I've got the ball here. But as we can see, the Khemri have come right back into it and crushed into the cage and made it difficult, made it so I can have to dodge all of my players that are up over here, and correctly left all these guys over here on their own because they're not, they're behind the play, so they're much less threatening. So what I'm going to try and do here is get in a situation where I can take advantage of my good luck in the previous turn and form a really strong offensive line. I'm not going to cage up because that's going to play into the hands of the Khemri. What I want to do is make it so that this tackle guy can't get a tackle zone on my ball. So I'm going to try and double bank, almost as if I was defending, rather than just forming a static cage. When you're forming a cage, that's so you can use your players to block back if somebody pushes into your cage. But because his players are strength 5 and in some cases got guard as well, that's never going to be an option for me, so I'm going to have to form a different style of offense. Okay, so if a player doesn't need to make any dodge rolls first, and then I'm going to have to dodge away from tackle. Okay, I wanted to do that first because I wanted to see whether that's going to use a team reroll. If that uses a team reroll and then fails on the second attempt, so obviously double 1 is terrible, but if that's why I haven't moved these players yet in case there's a double 1. I've moved this player yet because if there's a double 1, the ball's going to bounce near him, so it's going to make it more difficult for the Khemri to get it next turn. And I haven't moved anybody else because they're less important, so I need to see whether this reroll gets used, and then I can plan the rest of the turn around it. If it does get used, I need to be a little bit more cautious in what's going on. Okay, so I put this guy here to form one part of the cage or the defense, the protection for the ball, and I've moved my ball carrier here, which is 2 squares forward. There's a gap here, so what I'm going to try and do is double bank my line, like a couple of guys here, a couple of guys here, a couple of guys over here or something, so that there's no chance of anybody getting a tackle zone on the ball. So even though it's a 2+ dodge away, with tackle, I don't want to be burning rerolls on that every turn, so I'm just trying to get myself into a really safe position. So this guy here is a blitzer, and he's got an opportunity for a 2 dice block there without any trouble, so I'm going to try and line that up as well, because he hasn't got dodge, so I don't want to be rolling a dodge. If I can roll a 2 dice block instead, that's obviously a lot better. Okay, so this guy's got dodge, so I'm going to make a dodge with him before I do anything else. And the reason for that is this guy moving here provides a really basic screen. So I'm going to try and make this better later in the turn, but this guy here, and this guy here in themselves provide a screen, assuming I can get this block off. So what you want to do when you're making this sort of offensive line is to form a really basic screen first, just with the minimum number of dice rolls, and then try and fill it in later. And then if it doesn't quite work, you don't have to burn a reroll on it because you do have some protection. Okay, so there's another dodge here. She's got dodge skill, this witch elf. As we can see, we're filling in that gap there, lining up those guys. Okay, so now I've now succeeded in those 2 rolls, and I've got myself somewhere towards a decent protection. I'm going to move this guy up, so I'm no longer worried about the double 1 or some other double 1 over this side, so I can now move him into a better position. He's just standing right in the middle here in the hope that he can move up one of the directions when the Khemri get out of the way. At the moment, I can't get through the Khemri without rolling dice. I don't want to roll dice with this guy. He's not important. So I'm going to leave him, move him up. I'm not moving this guy yet because this guy's got a chance of getting to here. If everything else works, I can do a dodge and a go for it to get this guy to here or maybe here. But that's the least important thing, so I'll leave him there for now. Okay, now this is a dodge without dodge to try and line up this 2 dice block here and also fill in the double bank of the cage. Now I've done my safe stuff, I'm doing that now. You might think, why make a dodge? Well, I have to move him anyway. I need to get rid of this guy. So either I have to dodge this guy away, and that's the same as that, or just to dodge this guy and take the 2 dice block. So either way, it's a 2 plus dodge, but this way I get a 2 dice block out of it and fill the cage in properly. Okay, so lucky enough to get the power, so that's cool. And as you can see now, we've now got a really nice little cage set up, but it's not perfect yet. We're going to try and make it better. Okay, so everything that's left now is just 2 plus dodges without built-in reroll, so needing a team reroll. So if any of these fail, I'll probably let it go. There's not too much chance of him really getting on top of me next turn. So if I fail this one, he can blitz with this guy, push this guy back, and then run the tackle guy in to mark him. But because this guy's here, and where this guy's over here, there's no way to get through these 2 squares without dodging. So the chances of him getting in front of me here are very slim. The other thing you do is blitz this guy and then try and come in this way. But again, the chance of him getting right over here with these slow players is quite slim. So if this is a fail, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to mean that I'm going to be still in a position where next turn I can do something. Worst case scenario, score on a 2 plus. Okay, so I had to make a little cheeky go for it there, just to make the perfect square and fill that in. I probably could have just stood him there, but might have been a mistake, if we're perfectly honest. That might have done the job over here, but I felt like I wanted the double bank there instead. Okay, I'm dodging with these guys first, as opposed to the Witch Elf, because there's tackle here, so that's the same as these. It's because these guys are next to the sideline, so I don't want to get them surfed. If one of them is going to fail, I'd rather it was these guys, so they're on the floor not getting surfed rather than just standing around. Okay, and as with these guys here, I'm just filling in like a 2 space gaps here that can't be dodged through, lining across the pitch to give me space to move into next turn. So what I don't want to do is the Khemri to crush around on this side and squeeze everybody in against the sideline. So by placing these guys here and spreading them out, that makes it a lot more difficult for the Khemri to get everybody in and around the cage. Okay, and now finally I'm moving this Witch Elf, and that makes the little cage perfect, because now it's impossible for the Khemri to get a tackle zone on the ball unless they make some dodges with their agility 4 or whatever. Because even if they blitz this blitzer here, they can't get through this Witch Elf as well. So previously there was a chance of them blitzing this blitzer and then running through that guy and marking him or something. It wouldn't have been too threatening, but it would have been technically a tackle zone on the ball. You couldn't have got the tackle guy round to there, so which is why I left this till last and filled in this square first. But now, since everything's worked, I can just fill that last little gap in. And finally, there's no point standing him there doing nothing, and so I decided to do a 2+ dodge and a go for it to get him to there. I had to kind of do that because his natural movement would have put him here or here in a position to get surfed, so it's better for him to be there stunned than it is for him to be over here doing nothing or there getting surfed. Okay, so that is everything. That's the end of the turn. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please press that like button or subscribe, and hopefully see you again next time.